It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Welcome to County-Wide. I'm Brad Miller, and we're happy to welcome into studio today a friend of Yavapai Broadcasting. Superintendent of the Sedona Oak Creek Unified School District, Dennis Dearden, is here. We say good day to you, sir.
Good morning, Brad. I'm glad to be here.
We've had some snowy fits and starts in the last couple of days.
Oh, my.
Getting you here, school yesterday.
I moved to Arizona because there was no snow, and here we are.
We do get some, and the school kids love it. Everybody else, it's kind of a headache, but back in business here. Springtime is just not too far away. Let's talk a little bit today. I want to kind of get to our sleeves rolled up a bit and talk nuts and bolts about Sedona School District, and I think our listeners across northern Arizona will find there's a lot of similarities between one public school district and another. Great changes are some are welcome, some not as welcome for public schools in general. But let's talk specifically about Sedona Oak Creek. And I'd like to start, you've been superintendent now for how long?
5 years.
5 years. And when you came, you found plenty to do right out of the gate, isn't that right?
Yeah, it was not a real healthy situation for a superintendent coming in. Number one, they were closing a school, a very popular school in the village of Oak Creek.
The big park school.
A lot of anger about that. And so, as you come in and then you're requested to help pass an override that fall, it makes it a very difficult situation. Fortunately, I've had a lot of experience in public education. In fact, this is my 49th year in public education.
Congratulations.
And I've loved every minute of it. If I had another 50 years, I'd do it again.
Yeah.
The issue with Sedona Oak Creek is, number one, they were significantly in debt. They were like $1.3 million in debt. And in a small district, you cannot continue to do that. So we had to look for programs that weren't working so well that we potentially could cut. We had to cut some personnel, especially at the administration. They were top-heavy in the administration. I decided very early on, and wasn't forced to do it, but I decided very early on that I could do both jobs. I could do the superintendent as well as the principal. Now, I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Principal at the high school?
Yeah, principal at the high school, which is a big job in itself, and superintendent. I have a great leadership team, and they all decided if you're going to do it, we'll do it too. So we were able to cut some significant excess with everybody doing, at the leadership level, doing two jobs. Okay. What I tried to do is put people in what they're passionate about. And when you're passionate about something, you tend to really work hard, and it doesn't seem as a job to you.
Let me back up just a tiny bit. The school board, did they make it, were they pretty transparent in the hiring process when you first came in that here's this, and this, or were these
No, I think so. I was contacted and recruited because I had significant experience.
Okay.
I wasn't looking for a job at that particular time, but when they reached out, they were very transparent. This is the issue. We closed a popular school. There's some anger there. We're in debt. There was, and we were declining enrollment. Over the past 12 years, they had declined in enrollment. And whoever did the data back then was pretty accurate to predict where we would be today. So there was a lot of things that we, a new superintendent, it wouldn't have been a very attractive job. But literally, my daughter wanted to come to a small town. All my kids had went to big districts, and she said, "I want to come to a small district." So
isn't it funny how what kinds
and
of
so
factors?
We visited. I told her to pick a town that she could want to go to school in, and she picked Sedona out of the blue. I had never been to Sedona, and so that's how it all worked out. And 2 weeks later, I got a call out of the blue from the Arizona School Board Association asking me if I would be interested in taking on this position.
Sometimes things just line up.
It just happened. So it's been a great experience for my daughter, and I think for Brad, it was a great selling point for me because when I came here, people questioned why would I want to take this job, and my wife had reminded me that everywhere I had been, that I'd been able to change the district in a positive direction. And she said, why would this be any different? But I was able to tell people that why would I bring my daughter to a school district that I didn't think I could change and make better. I wasn't going to gamble on her. And she's had she's a senior this year, by the way, and a straight A student, has done a wonderful job.
She better get straight A's. Her teachers know somebody.
She works hard. Actually, it's harder for her because she has to work sometimes even harder, prove herself.
Let me back up, because I can remember very personally that when the Big Park School in the village of Oak Creek opened, it's got to be getting close to 30 years ago, 25 easily, because the demand was there, the population was there. There were families in that area. Now, hasn't, because so much property in the Sedona area has gone so high cost-wise, I don't want to say families have been driven out, but it's been more affordable. Is that kind of what's driven student population?
Yeah, absolutely. It's declined for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason is young families can't afford to live in Sedona, as well as Big Park.
Right.
And then lately, there's not many houses available, even if you can afford them. Right. I went through that. I lived in a motel for the first month or two.
Lots of educators.
And it took us 2 years to find a home to buy that we could afford. So I have I understand what teachers go through, and it is very hard to recruit. Everybody wants to live in Sedona for the beauty and all the things it has to offer, but it's very difficult to find houses. Now, we've got some plans, and one of the things that we're doing, Brad, as you know, as Big Park is closed, we've tried to rent some of that space out to people, and we're even partnering with Yavapai County in bringing the Sheriff's Department and some services that we think will help the community. We have a section of the building called the C section, which is about, we think we can, it's about 11 classrooms. We think we can make 11 condos or one or two bedrooms. Yes.
You're talking housing.
Yes.
Okay.
And we had a private donor come forward that is going to take care of the construction for us and so forth. And the board has already approved that. Wow. So that will be underway. Okay. In fact, the architecture pretty much is done right now in terms of designing that building.
Interesting.
And so that will really help the district in terms of being able to provide as we recruit quality teachers, because you can bring in all the programs you want, Brad, but unless you have a great teacher in the classroom, those programs are not as good as you think they might be. So we want to provide the best for our kids and not have teachers leave halfway through the year because they got kicked out of their home or it was turned into an Airbnb, and that happens frequently. So we hope that at least that's a step in the right direction.
The housing pressure. I've heard kind of anecdotally about, and particularly in Sedona, but now we're hearing it firsthand, some of the struggles on top of everything else working in a public school system these days brings. We need to take a short break, so let's do that. Visiting this morning with Dennis Dearden, Dennis Superintendent, Sedona Oak Creek Unified School District. We'll be back to Countywide right after this.
Your neighborhood Jackson Hewitt Tax Service for over 25 years and continues to serve the communities in northern Arizona. Jackson Hewitt is here to help you file your personal taxes. As laws and situations change, your local Jackson Hewitt Tax Service professional stays updated to serve you. Drop off or make an in-person appointment. In Flagstaff, call 213-8626. That's 213-8626. That's 213-8626.
The award-winning experts at Verde Solar Services offer the trusted Carrier products that help you customize a solution to fit your budget. Verde Solar is a family-owned business serving the Verde Valley for 38 years with the Carrier products you can rely on. Carrier AC systems are trusted to bring energy-efficient, quiet, consistent comfort. Call 928-567-5315 for a free assessment of your AC and air quality needs. Verde Solar Services, online at verdesolaire.com, a factory-authorized Carrier dealer.
Don't let concerns about today's events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Matthias Sandoval, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand the impact of these events and make sure your goals are top of mind. While you can't control the market volatility, we'll focus on what you can control. We can connect in several virtual ways. Start by giving me a call at 634-1044.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Brad Miller, and our guest today, Dennis Dearden, longtime educator, 49 years, and God bless you and congratulations to you on that. And the last half dozen or so of those here in the Sedona Oak Creek Unified School District Superintendent. Talk to me a little bit. There's been a lot, just generically, really, I think almost every state in the U.S., some more so than others, where privatization of schools, voucher programs, different things like that are really kind of bubbling up. And sometimes it's just a political football, but it has real-world effects. And has Sedona and some of our local districts kind of been feeling those pushes, or where do you stand on that?
Oh, absolutely. This has been around for a while, and I learned a long time ago that you have to worry about your school. When I first got here, they were talking about private schools and charter schools and losing kids to them, and I said, and I told our leadership team, we got to quit talking about the competition or what you think is the competition and worry about programs that we can bring to the community and to our students that may be missing. We've got to analyze our own selves, and that's kind of what we did. We started looking at things we could give up and that weren't working as well. It was just tradition and so forth, and we started looking at unique programs such as College Capstone. We brought in that.
What is that?
It's a program from College Board that offers AP type of courses where they get college credit.
Gotcha.
We also brought in early college.
Right.
Our kids who want to get a 2-year associate degree from Yavapai College through a partnership can walk across the stage, and we have 8 of those students this year. They'll be walking across the stage with a college 2-year degree as well as a high school diploma. We just went in partnership last month with a program called AJAC, which is the Arizona General Education Credits, which will be applicable to any major college in the state. They can get a 1-year degree out of the way. Not a degree, but a one year of college, which is really significant and helpful to their parents and their families.
Yeah, financially. You can just picture.
But this has been around a long time, and for me, there's some things you can get caught up politically and waste a lot of time, or you can. My choice has always been to focus with a laser-like focus on my school district and see what I can do to make it more attractive. And that's kind of what we've done. We've brought in some unique programs. West Sedona is a STEM, one of the few accredited STEM programs in the state. And so when you start offering those things, another thing we did, we realized that there's no after-school programs here for working families. Not only they can't afford homes, but when they do work here, school's out, there's no place to leave them. So we started that. We have almost 160 kids in our after Wildcat extended day program. And that's free. We don't charge. Many districts around the state charge a fee from $300 or more a month for those type of programs.
It seems like there used to be, and maybe it's an abandoned model now, or where you could go to just about any high school in America and you're going to find things very, very similar, from student dress through curriculum, and all of those kinds of things. And it seems to me, from talking to you and other educators, that it's really kind of becoming a little more boutique, if that's the right word, where different school districts are going to be, focusing on different things based on their own geography, even certainly student populations and backgrounds and things like that. And money drives it all.
Absolutely.
But
and you're Correct. And parents have demands. They want what they want sometimes. Right. And I totally believe in parent choice. If you want to send your kid to a private school or a charter school, that certainly should be up to you. I'm not going to debate that.
Sure. But let's talk about the money piece of that. Because if I understand it, and you'll certainly know a billion times more than I about, say, vouchers. That word's been around. It was introduced to us some time ago now, and it's still kind of on the periphery, if not right up front, that in some cases, students, parents may choose to send their student to a private, but they're going to take that public funding with them. Is that kind of in a nutshell what vouchers mean? And how do you deal with that?
They can get $7,000 to go to a private school or a school of their choice to help pay for tuition now.
Right.
There's nothing we can do about that if a parent wants to do that.
Sure.
Many parents have decided, especially during the COVID era.
That put everything upside down, didn't it?
Yes, and many parents decided, I'm going to homeschool.
Yeah.
Well, homeschooling is not as easy as many parents think, and a lot of parents couldn't wait for schools to open. We were one of the few schools that stayed open, by the way, during COVID, which really helped us, the consistency and so forth. But I have to tell you, it was the toughest 2 years of my whole career.
I was going to say...
It was for teachers, for administrators, for parents, for kids. We're still seeing the after effects of COVID.
Next to hospitals, I would think schools, whichever, public and private, this had to be something that just rung every single bell on the uh-oh chart.
Absolutely.
Almost every day.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very, very difficult.
Let me ask you along that. How did it kind of shake out? We're not probably removed far enough from all of the COVID business that we can really assess. But do you think kids came out lacking? Do you think kids came out too far behind, or are they doing okay?
No, some of them are doing okay, but many are behind academically, and we're seeing that across the nation, especially in areas of math, reading, that type of thing.
Sure.
And they're out of school. The other thing we're seeing is a lot of mental health issues, anxiety type things, depression of kids. Suicides are higher in the United States than they've ever been in terms of that. So we're seeing a lot of the effects of what that 2 years isolation of kids in their homes and so forth. We're seeing more behavior problems at younger levels now.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Did kids of a certain age group, say high school, junior high, did anybody struggle a little more, or was it fairly...
I think the younger kids struggled probably a little bit more, and middle school kids, because the isolation, being away from their friends, not being around their social skills, some of that was lost a little bit. Yeah. So we're trying to catch that up. Learning loss, obviously, but, you can't. What we discovered that online learning was not. Doing it online was not as effective as what we would like for all kids. Yeah. Some kids do well. It doesn't matter what environment they're in or what tool they're using, they do well. But it was, for most of our kids, it was very difficult. It
seems like you cannot replace. I mean, a lot of times, especially younger ones, that home computer is going to be a device generally of leisure, a lot of times for little kids. And now all of a sudden I've got to pay attention and listen. I can see where that would be a struggle. Are we going to have, do you think, a little COVID bubble of kids then kind of going on into junior high, into senior high? And will that be recognized, or will it?
Well, we're doing everything we can, to offer extra support, tutoring, those type of things to catch kids up. We understand. We even hired a mental health counselor last year that focused on those issues and so forth. So we understand that, and it's not isolated to Sedona or the Verde Valley. It's a worldwide type of problem we're all facing. So, but having said that, I think we've done extremely well addressing a lot of those issues. We tried to be very honest with those things. We never tell parents that, I have parents that are searching for schools, whether it's a voucher thing or going to, a charter school or private school, and they want to go on a tour for us. And I'm very honest with them. If you're looking for the perfect school, you're not going to find it here.
Right.
because there isn't one.
That's right.
And so I think what we do and we bring to the table is we try to address problems as they arise, and we're honest about it. And every day we try to make school better for our kids.
Sounds great. Let's take a final break. We'll come back, wrap up. Dennis Dearden, Superintendent of the Sedona Oak Creek Unified School District. We'll pause. Countywide comes back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley for 38 years, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust, designed, engineered, and built in the USA. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates on systems that are quiet and affordable. Verde Solaire is locally owned since 1983 and available for all your heating, air conditioning, and plumbing needs. Call 928-567-5315. Visit them online at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Taxes, taxes, taxes.
It's that time again. This is Lewis with Rice Accounting Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. We don't sell cars, we don't do hair or wait tables. We do taxes. At Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, we talk taxes and we prepare taxes. Open year-round for tax filings. Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, located throughout northern Arizona. For over 20 years, our local preparers have helped neighbors pay their fair share and no more.
Jackson Hewitt Tax Service in the Tri-Cities at 772-7872. That's 772-7872.
Welcome back to Countywide. Just a couple of moments remaining. We'll give you some information about how you can reach out to the district and/or Dennis Dearden, Superintendent of Sedona Oak Creek. I get from you a positive vibration. We're halfway through this school year. You mentioned we talked plenty about COVID and where that's kind of led us, but I get an optimistic feel from you that things are moving along okay.
Yeah, we've been able to increase our enrollment through good PR, going out and telling our story, and that's helped us. We gained 148 students, new students last year, over a projected 40 decrease. This year we've increased 169 students. So that is being very positive. I'm a positive person by nature. My mom,
49 years in public education, one would have to be.
Yeah, and my mother taught me a long time ago, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That's right.
So I try to stay ready all the time for whatever's going to come up, and I take it very seriously, that drive to school every morning, knowing that I have 750 students that I'm responsible for. Yeah. I take that very seriously.
Yeah, well, congratulations again on a lengthy career and continued success at Sedona Oak Creek. If folks do want to reach out to you, the best way is how? Yeah,
give us a call at school at 928-204-6700 or go to our website, SedonaK12.org. We'd love to take you on a tour, a visit, and we'll be honest with any answers that you need for us. You're looking for.
That sounds great. Thank you, sir. Dennis Dearden is Superintendent, Sedona Oak Creek School District. Again, 204-6700 or SedonaK12.org. I'm Brad Miller. It's Countywide, and we'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.